One theme. You've been called the next John Peel by some musicians and fellow DJs.
Increasingly so.
What's your response to this?
The same as it's always been. It's flattering, but it's completely and utterly unfeasible. You know, there's only one John Peel, only one man could have started the whole thing, and he did. We wouldn't be having this conversation in this room in Oxford if this John Peel had been there.
Yeah.
He started it all.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be doing this, I wouldn't be talking about myself or music, you know. It just wouldn't be happening. So ultimately he was the greatest pioneer in radio history, greatest radio DJ of all time, you know. If people can hold me even in the same phrase or the same sentence, then that's a compliment in itself. To say that I'm the next to him is totally unrealistic. Taking, you know, nothing from the fact that I'm flattered. It's just, he's John Peel, for God's sake, you know, and I'm effectively a different kind of DJ doing it a different way. And the one thing John and I agreed upon when we had our one chance to really talk for a few hours one night was that we come from the same place, and our love for music is exactly the same intention.
Yeah.
We just deliver it differently.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, it's an incredibly flattering thing to hear, but you really can't give it too much credence.
So I like your next question, Fiona, actually.
Who is your other favourite Radio 1 DJ?
Oh man, these are really good questions, you know. I mean, I could think of a bunch. To choose one, but then I don't want to be that guy that goes, oh, I can't just choose one. So I'm going to...
Go for it, go for it.
Well, historically it's been Westwood, you know, because I grew up listening to him as a kid when he was, you know, before he was even at Radio 1. And then I'm a big Giles Peterson fan, I'm a massive Pete Tong fan, a massive Andy Mack fan. But I think at the moment, the one that I feel really kind of sets the bar very, very high is Scott Mills. I think he sets the bar really high as a broadcaster.
Funny guy as well.
I think he's got natural timing and a great sense of humour. His team's perfect. You know, he takes passion in the music that he appreciates and loves. He doesn't pretend to know about the stuff he doesn't. He's honest. And I think that show has an incredibly, really, really good vibe. And when I listen to it before I come on, it's always, oh, I feel G'd up going on after Scott. He lays ground for us in such the best possible way. So I'm a big Scott Mills fan. I think he's an absolute star.
Cool stuff. Now, we're DJs.
I like Christy Chris as well, I should point out.
We've had a few embarrassing moments in our time together, all 7 months of it.
You're going to spoil it with the what's the most embarrassing moment question?
Yes. Have you got any amusing on-air bloopers?
Yeah, plenty.
Tell us about.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I was talking about Björk's rise from her early days in the Sugar Babes. That kind of thing, which of course was a faux pas, but you know, it wasn't a I don't really...
It's kind of just like you
Yeah, it just kind of like my mouth and stuff just kind of comes out, you know, and so...
That's the best presentation.
And so, you know, I mean, it just was one of those things, and I didn't realise I'd done it. I was going about my business and playing that trick and everything else, and I don't think my team knew whether or not to kind of say anything. And then one of them kind of went, you know, you said Sugar Babes, right? I was like, what? You said Sugar Babes? And I was like, no, I didn't. And they were like, presented me with like a list of texts and people going, it's the Sugar Cube, you idiot, you know. No, it just happens. It's fun. It's fine. It's funny, you know. But there's been plenty. I mean, buttons don't work, and
yeah,
you know,
we've had that.
I mean,
it's so stressful, isn't it?
Getting album titles wrong, and I mean, it just happens. You can't be on it all the time.
It makes us feel better. It doesn't.
Oh, believe me. I mean, you know, and the day when you can laugh those things off is a good day. And sometimes it's still. I mean, even like last night when I was doing my show, I was real tired and I was feeling a little bit run down. And the first half an hour was really good, and then I was just getting into the Nations bit, and I had this quite complex transition where I had to, because we messed up the timing a little bit. I was about 15 seconds over the end of the record before you have to hit the Nations at 7:30 on the dot because everything goes out at the same time. So I had the ending of the record lined up on a different channel, and I was going to superimpose the two, but I just got it totally wrong and pulled down the fader of the record, leaving the superimposed ending up. Then it just was a total cock up basically, and so I was pretty miserable for about 15 minutes. My team just not leave me alone. I just sit there and just look serious for 15 minutes. Brood.
We played 3 songs at the same time once.
Yeah, I don't know how we actually managed that.
That's called a remix.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool one. So we've been talking about Radio 1. We're just going to ask you a bit about Gonzo. Who's been your favourite guest on the Big Brown Couch?
We're fortunate on that show because people, I think, are aware of what Gonzo is, and they come on now and they know to be just a little more chilled out, a bit more relaxed. So more often than not, pretty much every band that comes on is in pretty good form. there's definitely favourites. I always look forward to catching up with Josh Homme.
Oh, he's amazing. Sorry.
No, man, he's...
Just like little bit of a fan.
No, I mean, you know, me too. He's a mate, and I'm still a fan. You know, he's great, and I look forward to seeing him. And you know, Foos are always fun. Any of that camp, you know, always fun.
They are really cool.
Green Day fun, because they seem to have fun on your show with the instruments. They play like baby sort of guitars.
Yeah. I mean, I've always had a pretty good relationship with Green Day. I think it depends on what day you get them and how much press and promo they've done. That they are constantly in demand, but I think for the most part we've always gotten on pretty good with them. And the British crew, I mean, Monkey's always, Kasabian, any of the bands that we have a history with generally, you know, tend to look forward to seeing them because it's the only chance you get to. Sometimes they're touring all the time, so press is an excuse to hang out. Really.
Yeah. So have a chat.
Yeah.
Okay. We heard about a bust up with Dirty Pretty Things. And we were wondering whether, you know, things like that happen with artists, whether that clouds your judgment of their songs, like whether you still like their song.
I should probably clear this up once and for all, really.
Yeah. Exclusive for Offside Radio. Come on, Zane.
That was a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah. Okay.
They had been on extended celebrations, put it that way, and
They drunk.
they were overtired and emotional. And we'd done the interview, and I'm very good mates with Diz. His missus and my missus are good mates. Their kids, you know, kind of play together. Their kid and Mike and Jackson play together a bit. And we were just hanging out, and inevitably it always turns into a bit of a ruckus, and Diz went to playfully punch me in the groin. Playfully, but pull back. But he connected really badly. And if you actually look at the footage and you concentrate on him, his face kind of drops and he looks really like worried, like he kind of goes, "Oh man, I'm sorry." But at which point Carl just seizes the opportunity to dive in, and it all just kicked off. It was done, it was fine, it was all over, whatever. I was slightly aggravated at the fact that my balls hurt, but it really was like, whatever, that happens as an accident, and it's all love. And MTV kind of put it up on the website mockingly, like, you know, big bust up, but of course, you know, people tend to believe what they see, and so everyone thought there was this big fallout, and it all went on forums and everything, but it was actually very playful.
Blown out of proportion.
Yeah, I thought they all sort of ganged up on you and beat you up.
But they do that.
I'm really sorry.
They do that in every interview, man. The same new interview they did, they doused me in beer, lifted me up, put me on their shoulders, and carried me out of the room. And this is before the interview even started. We were halfway down the stairs before the director came down and was like, "We've got to do this interview in LA." I have no idea where they were going to take me either. You know, so I mean, I just think that, I don't know, they tend to sort of, it's kind of a roister sort of,
Exciting
never
time.
really serious. But it wouldn't cloud my judgment anyway, because I think you've got to keep it separate. Personal politics and creative decisions are very, very different things.